Hello and welcome to Engage, the video series where we discuss tips and insights when it comes to marketing. So today we're going to discuss influencer marketing. We're going to start with breaking down what is an influencer and also some misconceptions that people and also businesses may have when it comes to influencer marketing. I want to apologize about the grainy video. I'm gonna get some more advanced equipment when it comes to recording videos. So if influencer marketing is a subject that interests you, hit like so that I know that people are interested in watching this content. So what is an influencer? Actually, an influencer, we all have influence. We are all influencers, especially with the advent of social media to a certain extent. We all have a certain micro influence into our circle. If we go on certain groups, on certain Facebook groups, and someone asks for recommendations and we recommend a certain product or service or brand, we are influencers. We are influencing that person's decision because we have experienced the product or service and are recommending and sharing our experience. Obviously, in terms of marketing, influencers are those people who commit to posting and sharing content consistently and regularly and build an audience that knows, likes and trusts them. And that is the key when it comes to influencers. It's not really about the number of people that follow them. It's more about the fact that these people actually trust them. So especially the younger audience, I think even older audience, spend a lot of time on social media. So these days, it's not just our physical connections and friends. We have also built online relationships. And what happens with influencers is that their followers, it becomes a community. They become friends. And that is how they see it. That's the relationship. It's not just broadcast. It's interactive, and that is the key that maybe a lot of people don't understand. Now, it must be said that there's influencer marketing and there's influencer marketing, and there are influencers who do it right, there are influencers who do it wrong, there are brands who collaborate with influencers in the right way, brands who collaborate with influencers in the wrong way. So there's obviously influencer marketing also in terms of regulation is quite, a jungle out there. But what I'm going to go through now is, because I have to try and keep this short, but I'm very passionate about this subject, and I'm going to go through 4 misconceptions that people have about influencers and influencer marketing. So some people have, I've had people and clients when we discussed influencer marketing tell me, but if an influencer posts about a product, don't people know they're getting paid to post about this product, so they don't trust them? What people don't realize is that if you use that mindset, and that's the case also for all advertising, we know that brands pay to have a billboard, we know that brands pay to have radio advertising, we know that brands pay to have a Facebook or Instagram ad. So are we saying that paid advertising is not effective? Clearly not, because it's a massive industry and it helps grow businesses. So why would people not trust an ad by an influencer? Actually, if they're following, obviously, again, if it's a trusted influencer and they have done things the right way, as long as it's a good product or service, it's win-win for the follower and for the influencer and for the brand. Because if I am following someone who I enjoy their content and, they're aligned with me and maybe they are really passionate about, interior design, and I'm looking to buy a house and I'm really interested about their ideas, and they post about a sofa that I've been really thinking of buying something, and they're saying, listen, it's available in the shop. Now, obviously what they're doing is they're saving me time from looking around and shopping around and seeing where I'm going to find the sofa. They're giving me inspiration, they're saving me time. So you have to look at it in that sense. It's not about they're posting a random product and I'm going to buy it because they're posting it. You have to see it in terms of the holistic value that they're offering their followers. And in fact, this gets me to the next point, which is but these influencers, they need to be liked by everyone, and it's not the case. For example, sometimes you see a question on Facebook oh, do you follow influencers? And you'll get all these people saying, no, I'm not influenced by influencers, and no, this influencer, who does she think she is? if she posts something, I would answer, I would not buy it, because so you have these people, but what people don't understand is that these people are not the target audience of the said influencer. Probably the target audience of the said influencer is not even on Facebook, they're probably on Instagram. I'm not saying that Facebook is not effective when it comes to influencer marketing, but definitely on Instagram it's much more powerful, and the platform lends itself more to influencer marketing. So just because maybe a male in his 50s says that an influencer whose target audience is women aged 25, and the 50-year-old man is saying, listen, oh, this person doesn't have influence on me, obviously doesn't have influence on you because you are not this person's target audience. And the brands that collaborate with this influencer obviously are not targeted to you. Now, that's not to say that there aren't influencers who make big mistakes and maybe accept collaborations that are not in line with their brand personality and brand values, and that is wrong. And in fact, I want to work on a video that addresses that. But for now, I want to keep to these few misconceptions that people have about influencers. Okay, and the third point is, for people to be called an influencer, they have to have a massive following. So the bigger the following an influencer have, the more I should collaborate with her or him as a brand. And that is so wrong. So numbers, to a certain extent, do matter. However, it is very important to consider the alignment of your brand with that person and their audience, and also the return on investment. Obviously, smaller influencers might charge less, so you get the same return on investment when it comes to the larger influencers. And when it comes to micro influencers, the positive aspect of it, that they will probably have a more engaged audience. So, and they will probably have a more niche following. So, for example, if we go back to the subject of interior design, so if I follow an influencer that posts regularly about their tastes and ideas, inspiration when it comes to interior design, and I am on the market to buy certain things for my house, then that is, even though maybe their audience might be smaller, I will be more engaged compared to maybe a generic lifestyle influencer who posts about everything. So that is what you have to see when you're on the brand side, when you're looking to collaborate with different people. The last point I hear so regularly from both maybe brand owners, marketers, people who have absolutely nothing to do with marketing or business especially, they go, oh, influencers get paid for doing nothing. Now, what we have to understand is that an influencer is acting as the A to Z when it comes to the content. So they're acting as the producer, they're acting as the creative director, they're acting as the photographer, they're acting as the videographer, they're acting as the editor, they're acting as the broadcaster, they're acting as the platform. And there's so much involved when it comes to content creation that people do not understand the time it takes these influencers to create content. Again, I'm talking about those influencers that do it right. And I prefer calling influencers content creators, because normally what they are is that they create content and then it turns into a following and they become influencers. And in reality, the really successful influencers don't base their income on brand deals. They base their income on their own products. They sell their own products. Now, for example, the last point when it comes to those people who say, oh, influencers don't have influence. I mean, one big example is Kylie Jenner. Love her or hate her, she has built a brand purely through her personal brand influence. And if that doesn't prove that influencer marketing is effective, I don't know what does. I hope you enjoyed this short video about influencer marketing. There's a lot more to say, and I'm sure I will say it in upcoming videos. If you found it interesting, please hit like and also subscribe to the channel to keep updated with future videos. Ciao, ciao!